You're muted, Kaylin. Hello, everybody. How is it going here? And now back to Kaylin as she is unmuted.
I've really got to get better at that. Welcome back to KSB.TV, our new YouTube channel. Excited to be here today with Hex Lion. We have a awesome guest with us today. As you guys know, we are preparing for the Million Post Tour, and it wouldn't be right if we didn't, actually vet and talk to the people behind a lot of the projects and products that are coming out on Pulsechain. If we want them to be a part of our workshops and to come out and help with adoption, it's important that we actually know, what services and products that they're providing. So today we are talking with Internet Money. We have the founder with us. His name is KG, and I'm not going to hold him back in the green room any longer. I'm going to go ahead and add him to the stream.
Hello.
Hi, KG. How's it going? Thank you for being with us here today.
It's going great. Thank you for having me. I appreciate all you and your group do for the community. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Hi, KG. Also from my side, and now we are streaming at the KSB channel. Before we streamed only on the Kryptosparbuch channel, and there we always kept like 3 questions with our interview partners. I mean, Kryptosparbuch is like hex specific, but actually they work here as well. So if you don't mind, would you like to answer the questions when you got into crypto and when you got into hex?
Sure, happy to. My first introduction into crypto was actually when I was in high school, and I may or may not have done a little browsing on the dark web, and there I may or may not have been introduced to Bitcoin. Now, broke high school me saw Bitcoin at, $80 or $60 and thought that was just crazy. I didn't have any money. So no, I didn't buy Bitcoin when I first saw it back in high school. But since then, I've kept an eye on crypto, and within the last couple of years is really, really when I caught the crypto bug. And Hex wasn't my first major crypto investment, but my first Hex buy was a little over a year ago. And I got in at about 3 cents on the way up, not this recent 3 cents. So yeah, that's when I got into crypto. That's when I got into Hex.
Awesome. And the third question of those introduction questions would be, what is your favorite part of the Hex game theory?
Oh, man. Put me on the spot with that one. I think the overall staking mechanism is ultimately a cool concept. And it, like Don Montoya, for those who may or may not know, he's actually my father and co-founder of the project. I bring that up to say because he actually put this idea that Hex, in a way, kind of does the same thing as Social Security does, where as long as people continue to put into the system, then future people can take out of the system. And as long as people continue to propagate that system, we then have wealth to rely on later in life. And so I like that Hex does that and provides that opportunity, especially in the crypto space.
That's an interesting take. That is the first time that I've heard it compared to Social Security. It is a Social Security on steroids.
Yeah.
I'd say that because, that's something that, when you're planning retirement that you're concerned about. Will it still be here? Will it be enough money to actually sustain me when I do need it? And that's something that I don't really question with Hex. So to like help with onboarding people that are in that age where they're relying on Social Security, I think that that's a pretty cool comparison. I like that. But KG, I met you, or we haven't physically met in person. I've met your father. I've met Don at our Albany meetup. Great guy, very generous. He brought gifts for the speakers and for the hosts. So I fell in love with him right away because he has that very generous spirit. But I talked to you for the first time in Twitter Spaces, and I was interested in learning more about, what you have going on, because I could tell that Internet Money was focused on contributing to the Pulsechain ecosystem. And so maybe we can, dive into that, dive into what exactly is Internet Money? What are you guys focused on? What is currently available, or what won't launch until Pulsechain launches?
Sure. So like you said, that was cool. We don't really do Twitter spaces that much. So this proved to me that we need to be doing those more often.
Absolutely.
So our whole mission is to onboard new users into crypto through Pulsechain. We believe in Pulsechain. We want Pulsechain to succeed, and we want to do our part, which is bringing in the new money, the new person, whether they're, and particularly the person who is not into crypto yet, because that's the largest untapped market in the crypto space. Is we can convert other communities, sure, but there's more people not into crypto. So it's a different topic. So as far as what is ready now, what will be ready when Pulsechain launches, we right now we're a 3-token ecosystem with a crypto wallet. And all 3 of those tokens sort of revolve around and complement the wallet. Now, our first token, Internet Money, which is our peer-to-peer digital cash, that exists currently on Binance Smart Chain. And we've been on Binance for a little over 6 months. We actually launched November 2021. And if you hold Internet Money on Binance, when Pulsechain mainnet launches, when we launch Internet Money on Pulsechain mainnet, you will get a 1-to-1 copy. Now, what we're working on, and will it be ready by the time Pulsechain mainnet launches? Well, that depends on when Pulsechain mainnet launches. It launches tomorrow? No, it won't be ready. So we're building, like I said, a native Pulsechain wallet, which will have the ability to connect to other chains as well. But when users download it, it'll be right on Pulsechain. And we're creating our second token, which is called Internet Money Dividend, or IMD. And our wallet will charge fees when users swap from one token to another, like MetaMask. But what's different about our wallet is, rather than charging the fee and the token that you swap out of, our wallet charges the fee in the form of that blockchain's native coin. So if you're swapping on Pulsechain, the fee's paid in Pulse, Ethereum, ETH, and so on. IMD comes into play because holders of IMD will receive those fees as dividends. And so 100% of the fees that the wallet generates goes to the IMD holders. So it's passive income in the form of blockchain's native coins. Hold IMD on Pulsechain, get Pulse as passive income, so on.
Okay, there was 1, 2. You said 3 coins. That's why I'm still waiting.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So this just adds a little layer of complexity. Don't need to go too far into this, but we had our first sacrifice, which was actually really cool. We capped it, and we ended up hitting our cap of 1.2 million in just under 2 hours. Happened on live stream. It was absolutely incredible. So many people came in that it crashed the website. It was an awesome rallying moment for the community. So the people who participated in that sacrifice set will be airdropped a certificate token first on Pulsechain mainnet. Don't need to dive too much into that because it's only relevant for that set of people. But that was the third token. So
okay, so let's start from the beginning. So Internet Money. I mean, peer-to-peer digital cash just means like, okay, crypto-to-crypto transactions, and there is not too much substance behind the term for me personally. So what are the tokenomics of Internet Money, of the first coin?
Sure. So IM, as we call it, it is a very simple contract. No taxes, no reflections, no admin keys. It is immutable. And it's actually deflationary, which we'll get into here in a moment. The thing, like you said, right? Any cryptocurrency can be a peer-to-peer digital cash. I can pay you in Chainlink. I can pay you in Uni. It doesn't matter. If you're willing to accept it as a form of currency, it's a peer-to-peer digital cash.
Mm-hmm.
What makes internet money different is the branding. It is dedicated to the idea and the concept that this is to be used as money. It is
Yeah,
literally.
but if this is to be used as money, to be something to be used as money, it shouldn't be like highly volatile as cryptocurrencies are. That's why we have such a big usage of stablecoins.
Sure.
So what you're saying to me with the sentences is like, okay, internet money wants to be a stable coin, but it is a highly volatile coin with low liquidity. So that doesn't fit, you know.
Well, no, we're not trying to be a stable coin. And I actually disagree that to be a currency, you have to be a stable coin. The US dollar isn't a stable coin. The US dollar is hyperinflationary and decreases in value every day. So it's a very volatile asset. Whereas internet money deflates. And theoretically, when something deflates, it increases in value. So we're trying to rival the inflation problem with the US dollar and other currencies. So I think better than a stable coin, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, okay, better than a stable coin. It's okay. So you said it's also like deflationary, so that means it's 100% pre-mined.
Yes, all tokens are minted at the time of launch, and there's a supply of about 18 trillion tokens.
Mm-hmm. And this supply will be split up like 50% of that goes to the people who sacrificed, or I know or how much goes like to those people who hold the coin now on Binance chain, and yeah, what's the tokenomics around the total supply?
So the sacrifice is for IMD, not IM.
Yeah, we go into that later. Yeah.
Yep, IM is completely out there. It's all minted. Whatever is held by holders on Binance, it'll be a 1-to-1 copy. So if you look at we have a black paper, which is our version of a white paper.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a nice breakdown of the tokens in there for palatability, but there is a top wallet that you'll see that holds about 50% of the supply right now. But those tokens have a purpose. So one of those major purposes of our token of internet money is when users download our wallet, they will be able to claim free Pulse and free internet money on Pulsechain. It's one of our
free Pulse. Where does the free Pulse come from?
So initially, the free Pulse will be provided by the team, but it becomes self-sustaining because IMD generates Pulse. So there's a portion of the IMD supply.
It's the fee trading. Yeah, okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So it becomes self-sustaining once the wallet picks up business. But yes, so a portion of that 50% is allocated towards airdropping people free internet money, also creating the first liquidity pool on Pulsechain. And then we want to airdrop internet money to other groups, other crypto groups, to introduce them to the token. So even though it looks like a big holder, it actually has purpose, and those coins are going to be allocated once Pulsechain is live. So that's
and okay, that's like with the 50% of this wallet, and the other 50% gets to the people who are holding IM right now on Binance chain, or?
Yep. 50% of the supply is already in the hands of.
Yeah, that's already given. Okay. And total supply will be, you said, like around 18 trillion, right? So about like 9 trillion are given to the people, or you can still buy the coin on Binance chain if you want to get like a share of that. And that's for IM, and the other 50% will be used as incentives to onboard more people, to get usage of the wallet and so on. Okay, understand everything like around that. Let's go into the wallet. Why do you think you can make a better wallet than MetaMask?
Oh, great question. I love answering it. So one thing, look, we can hate on MetaMask all day, but we got to pay homage to MetaMask because MetaMask got us all here, or most of us anyways. What MetaMask fails at is its approachability. MetaMask isn't beginner friendly. I'm sure you both have Have you ever tried to onboard somebody into Hex through MetaMask? It's a nightmare.
Yeah, I did like with a couple of people, and I mean it's less nightmare than onboarding them directly with a hardware wallet,
You're right about
but which is, in my point of view, even the better way to go, especially if we talk about Hex and like potentially 15-year staking. But yes, it is not the easiest thing, and I mean I'm a little specialist in onboarding. Like through the Hex 5555 tour, we also onboarded like hundreds of people into Staker wallet, which is also it is complicated. Crypto is not beginner friendly. It's like the first thing you have to realize. Okay, you are getting a password which only you are getting and nobody else has. And I mean, if you're like 30, 40, 50 years old, you never interacted with crypto, you're not used to this concept. You're used to forgot my password buttons,
Yeah.
and all this stuff, like call customer support buttons and so on. So yeah, crypto isn't beginner friendly in the first place. So that's where also the question comes from. Like what ideas do you have in order to make this process better?
You basically set me up for the alley-oop. Crypto isn't beginner friendly, and that's a problem. Because if we want to reach mass adoption as an industry, it has to be beginner friendly. And one could argue it even has to kind of mirror legacy finance technology as far as like applications go. Not
Yeah,
token,
yeah,
not
but crypto is got invented to be decentralized, that you hold your own keys. So I rather put a lot of effort into an potential onboarding process where the people still have their own keys in their own
absolutely.
hands, with like a non-custodial approach, than like go with the middleman approach.
Completely agree. We're 100% non-custodial, 100% decentralized in that way. What I mean by that is the the layouts, the user interface, the interactions should be what the non-crypto user is already comfortable with. So if we actually made a recent demo of the design of some of the screens that have been designed out for our wallet, and not only us, but our dev team, which is a 9-man dedicated team. We have 9 devs. Everyone is on board with the vision. It's every single line of any design we put in there, we ask ourselves, how is the non-crypto user going to see this? We talk about the philosophy of, does this make sense? We bring in outside opinions from non-crypto users. Does this make sense to you? Why doesn't it make sense to you? Everything we do is centered around, does this make sense? And so like even the layouts of the buttons, the language we're using, it's all the flow is just there. And everything is in a place that makes sense and is intuitive.
So just for example, I know that I've had people, I was telling you about that earlier, Patrick, that are not being able to find their tokens, right? Needing to go to Etherscan to find the contract address to be able to add the tokens. That is something that someone new to crypto just doesn't get. Like that whole concept is just too many extra steps. So I'm assuming that you're essentially trying to make it as simple as some of the apps we download on our phone, right? I think that was kind of the craze of DOGE, was that it was so easy to purchase on Robinhood.
Yes.
And so I'm assuming that you want to create the wallet in a way to where it's almost like idiot proof. Yes, no. Sign here, write seeds here, that kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, again, as one example, that exact point you just mentioned, we haven't figured out exactly how to make that particular thing simple, but we're thinking about those kinds of things. How can we make it? Like, do we put some kind of built-in scanner that says, hey, we noticed this token's in your wallet? And then maybe we put some kind of risk warning. Tokens like this could be, could get you hacked or whatever. Pay close attention. Are you expecting this token? Yes. So things like that, making everything that is complex, finding a way to make it simple. And as simple as buying Doge on Robinhood, that's a great example.
Yeah. Yeah. This last weekend was Father's Day, Juneteenth, 619 Day. Lots of stuff going on in San Diego. And we went down to the beach, and my husband and I, we made it a point to ask people just walking around, can you name 3 cryptocurrencies? I was surprised to find out that not one person we interviewed could name 3 cryptocurrencies.
Not one,
Bitcoin,
really?
yeah, Bitcoin, everybody had heard of that. And then second in line was dog. They didn't even, know really Doge. It was like, oh, the dog coin,
Right.
right? And so we are still very, very early in crypto. And to me, that is huge in that that's your focus, is bringing on new adoption as opposed to people that are already in crypto, because there's so many more people not in crypto,
Absolutely. And, just to comfort, because when we get into the whole new crypto user conversation, this question comes up. We are still creating features and keeping the expert user in mind to give them reason to want to trade on our wallet. Yes, if you're a deep expert, you're probably already using the DEX and you're circumventing the wallet anyways. But I know a lot of people in the crypto space who have been in for many years who are still using MetaMask to perform their swaps. So we want to give value and cool tools, even for the expert trader, or not even trader, just nerds, crypto nerds.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, I have still like more questions for you. I'm just like sorting them out in my brain, like to get in a good order here as well. So let's speak a little bit about the technical side of things. So how will be this movement from the Binance Smart Chain onto the Pulsechain main network look like? Will like liquidity just be like completely removed from Binance Smart Chain and then put into Pulsechain, and those coins which are existing now on the Binance Smart Chain, they will just like lose their value because the value is like injected into the Pulsechain? Or how will that look like from a technical point of view?
Oh man, you're going to love this. So we're not going to let Binance die. Binance is still very much a part of what we're doing. Binance is arguably very important when we talk about adoption. I'll circle back to that if you want. But as far as your liquidity question,
I agree.
So we will not be removing the liquidity from Binance. We will just be injecting fresh liquidity into Pulsechain. Well, then the question becomes, what about the tokens that are locked up from people liquidity providing? Well, our snapshot code actually accounts for the tokens that are in the liquidity pool, attributes those to the wallet providing liquidity, and airdrops them those on Pulse outside of the liquidity pool. So you can keep providing liquidity on Binance and your airdrop on Pulsechain will not be affected.
So, and if you like, for example, sacrifice for Pulse, you can immediately like make a trading fee earning pool with Pulse to internet money.
Absolutely. Once we launch it, of course, got to launch first.
Yeah. And I mean, I assume that maybe somebody in the inner circle team might already be thinking about liquidity pools on PulseX, right?
Yeah, we will, as the team, provide the initial liquidity for internet money. We will make that pair an IM Pulse, IM/Pulse. And then we're considering some other pairs, but what we really wanted to do was provide our first major liquidity pair in a stable coin, but we don't know if there's going to be any stable coins on launch. So
do you really want that? Because then it circles back to like, are you a stable coin?
Well, the beauty of providing, like, because HEX does this, right, with USDC, is when you provide your major liquidity pair against a stable coin, it doesn't make you a stable coin, but one asset in the pair is less volatile than the other. And so you only have to worry about one thing moving. Whereas,
yeah, but why not like bound my liquidity to a pair where I think that is down to make 10,000x in the next couple of years.
Which is a fair point too. Which is a very fair point. Very fair.
And keep like my USDC exposure or my stablecoin exposure in the liquidity pair like fairly small in order to get this price appreciation. Because then if nobody sells in my coin and the other side goes up, my side or my coin goes up with it, you know, without anybody actually buying it. So
Hard
that
flow
helps with onboarding, you know.
Sure. No, that's, I mean, I hear exactly what you're saying. There are benefits there as well. And I mean, our main pairing is going to be Pulse. So if Pulse 10,000 X's, it should benefit us.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Okay, that question was good. Yeah, then the next technical question, like how can you do it to make a in-wallet swap ability where you need to have like pools, or like you don't need to have pools, but maybe you can like just swap and parts of your transaction will get automatically swapped into pools and then sent to the address, which is like the main address to spread out the yield, or how does that look like?
So as of right now, you will have to have enough Pulse, ETH, BNB, whatever chain you're trading on, to accommodate that fee. The fee is actually less than MetaMask, and as far as I can tell, less than any other wallet fee that discloses their fee. We charge a 0.729% fee as opposed to MetaMask's 0.875. I've seen wallets as high as 1%. So we seem to be amongst the low side. So even though we're charging in the native asset, in native coin, we're still lower.
Yeah, but does it mean the user needs to have the native coin, or does it mean that even without pools in my wallet, I can perform swaps? No, I need to have pools in my wallet.
Yes, and as of right now, I mean, maybe there's a way that we execute that, but as of right now, you will have to have the additional Pulse to cover the fee. And that's the Pulse that gets distributed to the IMD.
Yeah, no, that's totally working. Yeah, because like otherwise, if you would have told me now that I can just like swap any coin to any coin without having Pulse in my wallet, then I would have had a lot of how and why questions.
Right.
So that way it's okay. And I mean, every new user gets free Pulse, you know, airdrop to him as you explained. So there is already the money for the first initial swaps, right? Only if the user comes in like with big volume, okay, but then he also can afford to drop like a few $100 into Pulse to buy that at first.
Actually, the way right now we're planning on dropping enough. So we're going to give a certain amount of IM, and we're planning on giving enough Pulse to cover the gas and the fee to swap that dollar value of IM. So if it's $1, $5, $10, we would then give enough Pulse so that they could, if they wanted to, swap that IM into some other asset, which could be bullish for Pulse or for Hex, could be bullish for Pulse. And meanwhile, every time IM gets swapped, we're burning Pulse. So it ultimately, if people are trading IM, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. And then I have the staking opportunity of IM, right?
No staking.
No staking. Yeah, no staking. Okay, all right. And then like IMD is actually just like IM in supply or not, or is IMD like the IM dividends? Is that a second token now?
Oh yeah, this is where the magic is. All right,
Yeah,
this is
okay. Now we got to the magic. All right,
got to the magic. So IMD is actually the first token of its kind in the crypto space. It's not really comparable to anything else that exists. So this isn't a fork of some protocol. Our devs are writing it from scratch. And so IMD has a fixed supply of 2 billion tokens, and they will all be minted at the time IMD launches. So it's inflationary, not deflationary, always 2 billion. Now, our first sacrifice set, actually 75% of the IMD supply is being distributed to that sacrifice set. So it's centralized right from the start. Now, what's extremely beautiful about it is there's no need to stake it, delegate it, lock it up in any way, shape, or form. All you have to do is hold IMD in a wallet you own the private keys to, and you will be entitled to claim, if you hold it on Pulsechain, Pulse, you'll be entitled to claim the blockchain's native coin. And you're actually going to be able to see, the way our devs are telling us it's going to play out right now, is you're going to be able to see it literally count up in real time as the blocks process what your claimable amount of Pulse ETH BNB is. That's beautiful. It doesn't put any sell pressure on the asset that is generating you your passive income, and it's paying you out in the coin that is directly tied to the blockchain success. I can't think of it.
Yeah, but still, like, where does the money come from for the reward in this pool?
The swaps on the wallet. It's the first token that tokenizes wallet fees. It's directly tied to the fees. So easy example is if $1,000 that in a particular day gets generated in fees on Pulsechain, that $1,000 will get distributed to the IMD holders. The company doesn't keep any of the fees that the wallet generates outside of the IMD that it may or may not hold. So there's not any extra fees.
Yeah. So, but the company holds like 25% of IMD. No, the other. Yeah, but where are like the other 25% of the 2 billion?
So we have it broken down in our black paper. 1.5%. See, this is where the deflationary aspect of IM comes into play. So a portion of the IMD supply is held in a wallet. That wallet will generate Pulse. That Pulse will buy.
It's held in the wallet. That wallet will generate Pulse. Okay, because like the percentage of the fees go to this wallet.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
The Pulse that gets accumulated in that wallet will be used to buy IM off of the open market. So buy pressure on internet money. And then the IM that's bought is burned.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's it ties all the tokens together, and it's a self-fueling system. And then a portion of the supply is allocated towards generating Pulse to give new wallet downloads. So that becomes self-sustaining.
Explain that again. So I didn't get that.
It's fine.
Dedicated to explain it again.
Yeah. So a portion of the IMD supply will be held in a wallet that generates Pulse, and then that Pulse will be airdropped to users who download the wallet. They'll have to claim it, but that's what that's for.
Okay, so and that's like another 1.5, or how much percentage was that?
So between the buy and burn and the freemium giveaways, there's 1.5% minimum allocated towards that. More can be given to those wallets in times that deem worthy, but there will be a minimum of 1.5% between those two wallets.
Between those ones.
So it could be 1% in one, 0.5 in another. It could be, so it's just 1.5 between the two.
Okay. So then we are just missing 23.5%. So
then there is about 13% that is allocated towards to the team. And that is various aspects of all fingers of the team, or all branches of the team. And then
no expectation of the profit of the work of others with that. Okay, I got it.
Right. Well, and then there's actually about 12% of the supply that is directly labeled no expectations. So
okay, and that's like the no expectation supply, and then like the 10% team supply, and then those two addresses, okay, they are with buy and burn, and then the incentive where the first like airdrops for the new users are coming from. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Did you understand everything, Caleb?
Well,
I mean, I'm piecing it together. I like that, you have all the questions, because it gets him repeating a little bit, and that helps me to bridge it all together. But yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I need those questions for me to bridge it together, you know.
well, and look, and I know everybody says, hey, read our white paper, read our, but we don't have some 25-page philosophical dissertation. Our black papers are literally 3 to 5 pages. We branded it as the plain English version. We wrote it in such a way that anybody should be able to read it and say, I understand exactly what's happening. Even the pie chart of the token allocation is beautiful, simple. IamCrypto.net/black paper. So we have one for internet money, one for IMD. Now, here's another cool point I want to talk about with IMD. Let's say, okay, so the team has 13%-ish, ish. The no expectations has 12%-ish. I guess the team is actually more like 11. Okay, what if they dump all their tokens, right? Well, this may also be the first crypto asset in history that price literally doesn't matter. Because even if the team dumps all those tokens and rugs the price, it will not affect the fees you are generating. It will not affect your passive income in any way, shape, or form. If anything, it gives you
I mean, okay, if we go like in this route, then we also need to assume that the team wasn't capable of building like the high-end wallet, and then there was like no user adoption, and that's why they like ran off with the money, and then you are not able to generate any fees because there is no more adoption going on. So I wouldn't go with that route, actually.
Sure, fair point. But because we don't even think that there's really any need to trade them, yes, of course, people are going to buy and sell the token. We're never going to stop that. But we're not providing liquidity for this token. So it's all being dedicated and centered around.
Like for the dividend token, you mean there is like no sinking of the founders team in making a liquidity pool.
There's no reason, because if the liquidity,
yeah, I mean there is a reason. There is a reason. Fees are always a reason, and I'm pretty sure that one of the first 30 to 50 holders of your list might figure that out on a certain point, and then just go ahead and make a pool on PulseX.
well, here's the question you got to ask. If you're going to provide liquidity for IMD, do you think that your yield is going to be better in a volatile pair with the risk of impermanent loss? Or is your yield going to be better by holding your tokens non-custodially with an immutable contract that's going to pay you dividends in a native token?
Yeah, I mean, if I keep it in a liquidity position in PulseX, it's also non-custodial.
It is, but you could get wrecked by trading or by the impermanent loss.
It's by the impermanent loss, I agree, absolutely agree. But I mean, doesn't it make sense, if we say like, okay, internet money is like built in a way to have a deflationary infrastructure, and it's also like together with high performing crypto assets like Pulse might be, or PulseX even, and people are earning like incentive tokens on this pair on the PulseX maybe as well. To say that's also like an option for the dividend token, because maybe I lose out, but maybe if I go like again like with a in a pair where I think, okay, this might even overperform IMD, then in the end I would get like more and more IMD, and I would collect all the fees and the incentive token on top of that. So like the more I think about it, the more it actually would make sense to make a liquidity pool, especially like if I also get like a small allocation of the incentive token on this pool. Because maybe in the first 2 weeks I'm just alone, and then I scoop up like all the fees there, for example, because there is not a huge set of people who will get the IMD token in the first place, right? So it's already like a kind of a small set of people, or how much individual address is sacrificed, for example?
A little over 1,200, like 1,230.
Yeah, so you're like with like under 1,500 wallets, so that's like not a lot, and given like token or sacrifice contribution, it's, I guess, like the first 20 might have a good volume, and then it's like 1,000 times like a little bit, and that's why I guess there will be an incentive for one of those people who sacrificed like 10,000 to more than $50,000, for example, in order to do that.
See, I hear your position. I do disagree. I think that considering IMD, it is a worse play to provide liquidity, because if you provide liquidity for IMD, well, first of all, the DEX is getting your Pulse or ETH or whatever it's generating, so it's going into oblivion. Now you're gambling at that point, because you're saying, and really, if the IMD Pulse pair, for example, does well, you're giving away your IMD, you're selling it. You're going to end up with more Pulse, which is great, but you've sold the goose that lays golden eggs for a couple golden eggs. I want the goose, right? Because if
I mean, generally speaking, I disagree here, because I think that a coin with a community of over 40,000 people, where like at least another 100,000 people are already interested in buying it, has definitely more growth potential than a community with a little under 1,500 wallets of interest.
Well, sure, but by holding IMD, you get the token of the community with 50,000 people. You get that. All you have to do is
but I rather think that if you provide like IMD versus PLS, then you might end up with more and more IMD tokens in there. So that's why I also think that it might make sense for somebody who is like in the top 10 sacrifices. Because why is it there? Because he believes in IMD, right?
Well, if you're getting more IMD tokens, that means people are dumping the price of IMD for Pulse. They're selling
to get more Pulse, for example. That I know that it means, or it just means that IMD performs good, but PLS performs great.
All right.
It's also like a reason,
Well, so
Can we answer this?
Yes. All right, Don. Hey, if this is too early of a leak, we can we'll talk about it later. But I think I'm feeling the leak bug. So we've gotten this question a lot, and we're working towards. This is all I'm going to say about it right now. We're working towards a solution that will possibly facilitate peer-to-peer transactions. Trust us. That's all I'm going to say about that. Where liquidity pools may not, and most likely, with this, will not be required.
Do you also get strange sounds?
Yeah.
It comes from you, Kaylin.
I think it is. I think it's outside. So I'm going to mute myself while you guys keep.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So I mean, it's all speculation what we were talking like the last few minutes. So like if somebody will do a liquidity provider pool or not. But actually, it sounds like a round concept. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I love those conversations because they actually make me happy. Whether we see eye to eye, whether we don't, doesn't matter. Our token that we're creating has game theory. I couldn't be more excited.
Yeah, that is definitely game theory. It's like same thing what Hedron community is doing when it comes to game theory. At first they built on top of HEX, and now they are also adding like the next layer. Same like with the MAXI community. They added like the contract on top of HEX or in combination with HEX, and now they are also coming like with new stuff on top of that. So yeah, does make sense. Yeah, it only what worries me, for example, is like always like token distribution, inflation, and tokenomics. And is there just somebody who wants to enrich himself and comes like with great words and good ideas, and then there is like nothing behind that. And all those questions I ask in order to do my own research, and I like what you explained, and I guess it's a round concept. It is understandable, and now my question would be like, where is the actual money coming from in order to do the marketing of onboarding? Because it is definitely a cost involved in order to get new eyeballs towards your wallet, right?
Sure. So, like I said, we did have one very successful sacrifice. And of course, no expectations. We can't have any expectations, but we did have one successful sacrifice. And we are actually gearing up for a second sacrifice. No official details ready to release yet. But what we do know is that people who participate in this sacrifice, and our sacrifices are for freedom of time. We believe freedom of time is an inalienable human right, and all humans are entitled to their time. So passive income, freedom of time, boom.
Mm-hmm.
This second sacrifice set may be awarded with IMD on multiple chains. It will not affect the Pulsechain holders in any way, shape, or form. That's done. But Ethereum, Binance, maybe some other chains. So, vague way to answer your question.
No, I also see like some utility in like airdrops to other chains. Yeah, the only thing is like I know that from myself. I'm pretty like when it comes to other chains. So it's like, okay, Ethereum chain, which sucks, yeah, but I still don't interact on the Binance Smart Chain, or I still stopped interacting like a year ago with Polygon Network, or people like tried to get me into something on the Tron chain, and I also didn't want to go on this blockchain. So it's a little hard to get crypto people moving blockchains, I guess.
It is, and that's another beautiful thing. And I see we got a question here, but that's another beautiful thing about our wallet for other crypto users is we're going to support their chains, but when they download our wallet, they're going to be introduced to Pulsechain. Whether they've heard about it or not, it's going to be a native Pulsechain wallet. So even if they have to switch their network, which is another simplicity feature we're adding for major networks, it'll just be the RPC settings will be preloaded. So you don't have to go through the typing in RPC settings process for major chains, at least. They'll be introduced to Pulsechain. So your BSC user, your Ethereum user, we want them on Pulsechain too.
Yeah, that was my question. Does the wallet interact with the other chains?
It will. And I guess this person is asking, yes.
I just wanted to bring that up like after that, and I just wanted to give my take on that before you actually answer that, because the same question I could also ask, like how can people be sure to get their Pulse or their PulseX coins without trusting the sacrifice addresses or whoever has the keys to it? So but yeah, you go ahead.
It's the same answer. I mean, yes, ultimately there is a layer of trust in this system until the tokens are in your wallet. Once the tokens are in your wallet, the contract is immutable. Nobody but you or someone stealing them from you, like, don't get hacked.
Yeah, but when it comes to internet money code, is this code not already like finished, or is there like a lot of changes to be done in order to put it on the Pulse chain? Because like you have the running coin on the BSC, right?
Yes. So internet money already exists on Pulsechain testnet. You've already tested our airdrop code, already airdropped all the holders. It is ready to launch on Pulsechain.
Yeah, so user interface will be, the user interface will be the wallet, right?
Yep. And the only thing about Pulsechain is we're not going to launch internet money until we have price discovery on Pulsechain so that we can establish a proper liquidity pool. not a liquidity pool based on ratios and a guess. So.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I mean, I just don't be like too sure that it will take like a lot of time before stablecoins come to the chain. So that might be like pretty quick. So, and then when do you think like most volume will be going on? It might be like in the first couple of weeks. So maybe you rethink this point.
Well, I mean, look, we're supposed to have price discovery on Pulsechain 72 hours-ish after launch. So we're ready.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just talking.
It sounded for longer. Okay.
Yeah, just talking a few days.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because then you can also already have like a stablecoin pool. So I'm pretty sure that there will be any kind of stablecoin even if it's like bridged over USDC, or for example like a bridged over DAI and then like a Pulse version of DAI or something, but not even so complicated. Just bridged over USDC should work, because you can bridge USDC also to the Polygon network, and I mean, okay, it's also used at Binance Smart Chain, also used on the Tron chain, different contracts. So, but yeah, so bridging USDC from one chain to another chain never like got to an issue with Circle.
Sure.
With the company behind USDC.
Did you want to respond to not launching on ETH and then there being an automatic copy?
Happy to answer any question, not afraid of it. So Mar Zanor asks, why didn't you launch on ETH then? So the ultimate trust feature falls off. There's two reasons. First of all, Richard Hart has said himself that all tokens may not make it. He said that I'm quoting here, some random shit coins may not be considered in the copy. How do we know that our token wouldn't be considered a random shit coin? Okay. So we had to remove that layer. Secondly, we actually did launch on ETH. Internet money exists on Ethereum. Here was another problem. It was $1,500 to add internet money into a liquidity pool. It was $75 to make a $50 buy of internet money on Ethereum. We were priced out, and for a new token, the liquidity pool's not deep. The liquidity pool's not huge. You don't have whales coming in buying these new tokens. It didn't make sense for our target market. Binance made perfect sense for us. So, we would have pushed harder on ETH if we were guaranteed that copy spot. But like Richard always says, if you want something done, do it yourself. We're self-sufficient individuals.
Yeah, very good point. I thought there was another question here. Okay, he was just basically repeating what you were saying about it launching on ETH, but then moved to Binance.
Yeah, I mean, in your case, I get the move with Binance. Yeah, I mean, I get the branding with internet money. I get like, why not get exposure to Binance users, which are primarily not Hexicans. So it does make sense, it does also make sense for me. Okay, your dev's already working on the Pulse testnet, that's going great. You already looked up the code and so on. So it's just like, yeah, and it's also not such a huge set of addresses where you need to airdrop to. So I guess that will work out pretty good. And you said publicly, like, give us 72 hours after the launch, to look everything up from the technical side, and then like get everything ready and airdrop it on the Pulse chain. So I get this angle. I am not like there are other coin projects where I disagree, where I highly disagree, like why launch on the Binance Smart Chain at first, but in your take does make sense, in order to get this reach out to other users and have the focus to to have the end game where internet money is on several kinds of blockchains, and has the cross blockchain swap ability built in the wallet. It was like a lot of crypto talk. Last sentence.
I'm happy to hear you're supportive. And just to clarify, to set proper expectations, we're not guaranteeing 72 hours. We're guaranteeing after price discovery. So if that happens in 24, if that happens in a week, we just have Pulse has to have a price before we establish a liquidity.
Okay. So like you're basically saying stable coins on Pulsechain is
no, not even stable coins.
But basically with stable coins on Pulsechain, there is the first stablecoin Pulse, meaning that Pulse has a price and PulseX as
well. Well, I think the way I understand price discovery is whenever the Ethereum to Pulse bridge is live, Pulse will then be pegged to Ethereum, and then therefore Pulse will have a price, and then therefore everything pegged to Pulse will then have a price. Before that,
I don't understand it that way. I don't understand it that way, because I only understand the way that we have a 1.2 or roughly 1.2 million X higher supply as Ethereum has, but from that point on, I don't think so, because assuming we have ratio trading going on, then what will be the first pool? The first pool might be like Pulse to PulseX, and then like what may be the first ratio in this first pool? It might be like a 1 to 1.6, 1 to 1.8 ratio, because like PulseX there are more units as PLS, and also like more volume sacrificed, and like from this initial ratio everything else develops, and not like with any pegging to the to ETH. Only because it's a fork of the ETH chain, I don't think that it has something to do with the value in the first place. Because what also happens in the first few movements is the AMM bot going through the copied liquidity pools and harvests them, and then puts in new liquidity pools on PulseX, and will do that like with every senseful pair, I would assume, and with everything garbage or something like that, you would need to find your liquidity providing position in your own user interface on the Pulse chain, I guess, and then pull that and redeploy that into PulseX. And I mean, lots of people are saying, yeah, you can hold DAI over the fork because like the copy of DAI will have a value. I disagree on that. I think that the AMM bot gets like the copied stablecoins from the sacrifice address in order to harvest like a crypto to stablecoin pool, where there is no ETH, where he can like just inflates with Pulse and gets the other side. Then he takes the copied stablecoins to inflate this side in order to get the crypto side out, and that we only have crypto to crypto pool in the first place before the bridge goes live, and after the bridge goes live there are stablecoins as well. And I guess I lost my audience now. Sorry.
you start talking into price discovery and ratio trading, it gets a little intense.
Yeah, it gets a little intense at that point. That's true. Yeah. Sorry for that, audience. If you have any questions, please come in our chat rooms or comment below.
So just for my own clarity, and for some of us, not so technical minded thinking, you had mentioned that there would be another sacrifice phase. Excuse me. And that the IMD coin goes to those that have sacrificed, right? Is that correct? Or can it also be purchased?
Yeah, I mean, not really, because assuming that he says there won't be any IMT pools, it actually cannot be purchased. But I mean, that's like our disagreement. So I think that also because of this reason, one of the first 20 sacrifices will go ahead and make a pull on PulseX.
So to answer that question, we as the team will not be creating a liquidity pool. If in true decentralized fashion, a liquidity pool is created, then so be it. There's a way to buy. It also goes back to the little teaser I gave a minute ago. That could be an option. Or you have good old-fashioned peer-to-peer trades. Well, we don't want people to get wrecked by saying, hey, send me your coins and I promise I'll send it to you. So we're trying to come up with a way to prevent that. So as of right now, the only people who are going to have the IMD token, if you participated in the first sacrifice set, you will have those tokens on Pulsechain. If you participate in the second sacrifice set, you may get IMD on multiple chains. And until avenues are created to sell those, your only option is good old-fashioned peer-to-peer trade.
Yeah.
I have an idea when it comes to that. So what you can think about is a built-in OTC market into your wallet, where like people can just set kind of a limit order on a decentralized marketplace, and you have access to that. You know, every user of the wallet, and then all the users of the wallet can see, there is somebody willing to sell IMD at this price. I like that. Let's buy that, and then you have just those OTC trades going on.
I wish I could tell you more, but
okay, I guess I pointed in the right direction here.
You're saying good things. You're saying very good things.
I was in a different Twitter Spaces with Power City, and I want to clarify whether or not it was your internet money that they brought up. Is there any connection with you guys and Power City?
Yes. So when they did their sacrifice, and it's still going on, great project, great team. When you if you sacrifice for us, internet money, liquid loans, PulseX, or there's a few projects, you got a bonus multiplier towards their sacrifice. So I think it was like, if you sacrifice for internet money, you got a 12.5% bonus towards your Power City sacrifice. Completely, like, doesn't affect our supply at all. That's their thing.
Mm-hmm. And it was really just to encourage, cross sacrifice, right?
Yeah, encourage cross sacrifice. One thing we would love to do is, they're building a metaverse. Mm-hmm. It'd be awesome to have internet money as a currency in that metaverse. So just trying to, Hexicans, Pulsechans coming together to support each other's projects.
Yeah, great win-win situation. That's what it's all about, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, awesome talk to you. I liked it a lot. Thanks for explaining everything. I have like a little off-topic question for you. Do you play golf, or do you know golfers?
I've dabbled. I will embarrass myself, and that's a promise.
Yes.
Do you know good golfers?
If you're asking for the reason you're asking, I hope you are, because I actually am interested in this.
Yes, he is asking for that reason. I actually mentioned that Don had reached out to me and mentioned that you guys might be interested in joining us for our kickoff to PulseCon, our Postmasters golf tournament. What we really aim to do is provide a space where we can network with each other, where all these different players on Pulsechain can come represent their brand, represent their products, but in a fun, social atmosphere. We have so much going on in this golf tournament now that it is now there's a music video being shot at the second half of it with Freddie Quotes and Black Casey Crypto. We have Hex ladies that are on Twitter actively right now, pursuing funds so that they can sponsor a hole where they want to have a complete ladies party at their hole. So it really is just about bringing the community together. I would love to see internet money represented at this event. I would love, to hang out with you and your dad. It's funny to me that he's your dad. He looks so young. And you, and you are, you had mentioned, not to dox you, but you were like, I kind of got into crypto, during high school years. And I'm like, how long ago was that? Yeah, I'm looking forward to this event, and I'd love for you guys to be a part of that.
And you should really look for at least one good goal for in your four team of four, because there are plenty of Pulse and PulseX to win, which you can further use for onboard new users into internet money.
Yeah, it is something we want to sponsor. We have plans to sponsor. I do have a few questions, about the packages and some of the logistics. I have 2 small kids myself, and my mom is going to be doing a few days of babysitting for us, me and my wife coming to PulseCon. So I don't know if I can physically make the golf tournament, but we still want to support you, what y'all are doing. We want to support the Pulsechain HEX community in any way possible. So if that means just getting a sponsorship and giving the spot to 4 people who are like to golf, want to participate, we're okay to do that too.
Yeah.
But I just want to talk to you about those logistics.
Oh yeah, we can definitely offline get into those details, because we even have options where you can do a whole sponsorship without attending, and we can find you ladies to host your hole for you. If that's something that you want, they'll wear your branded material. They'll pass out whatever giveaways you want to give away. There are tons of options to be involved. So do not let your attendance, deter you. But yeah, definitely. Once we get off stream or whatnot, we can get into details.
Perfect. Yes, perfect.
Yeah.
And now awesome. So thanks a lot, and just keep an open ear for out there, even for individual golfers, who might come to PulseCon, because they can win a good prize money, and if they are a really good golfer, for example, they can just reach out to one of the communities and say do you want to win this prize money, and go from there. And now in the end of our stream, I would do you have any questions for us maybe?
I don't. I again only have appreciation because of the hard work you're doing. You're spreading the word of Pulsechain, HEX, you're onboarding. I mean, you are literally out there in the trenches, one by one, bringing people into this ecosystem. All I can say is thank you. So
we appreciate that.
Sure.
Yeah, awesome last words. Thanks for that. Please, everybody out there, show us some love. Don't forget about the subscribe and the like button here. And then, Kaylin, what is coming up next? So tomorrow we are streaming at Kryptosparbuch in German, and we also stream here at KSB TV in English tomorrow. Will be 4 p.m. CST, and we have a guest tomorrow, and a well-known guest in the HEX and Pulse and in the RH ecosystem. We will stream together with Crypto Coffee tomorrow, so stay tuned and join in. So we will discuss all kinds of coins and market conditions and options and possibilities. And yeah, let's see how long the stream will be tomorrow with Coffee, because I'd like to talk with this guy as well. Kaylin, anything else from your side?
Nope. I just encourage you guys out there to go to our website, ksb.tv. If you're looking for the golf information, then just /golf. Also to follow us on Twitter. A lot of you guys know that we are going through a rebranding. It is important for us to get all of our English content on this new channel, KSB, and to change the Kryptosparbuch channel to all German content. So you guys will also be streaming with Hodl Dog on Friday in German on the Kryptosparbuch channel. So we do have a full week of streams going. So we just encourage you guys to check in back with us and subscribe to all our channels as we try to grow this new platform before we launch the Million Post Tour.
All right, so thanks for everybody out there to tune in, listen in. If there are any open questions, please tell us how to reach out to you, KG.
Yes.
Sure. So you can find all of our socials on our website at imcrypto.net or on Twitter and Telegram at imcryptonet. And that really is the best way to stay up to date. Please don't fall for scams. I don't know if people are going to start popping up with fake sacrifice stuff. It's not happening yet. Please, Twitter, Telegram, imcryptonet.
And always confirm any information which you may have gotten. Go in their official channels, ask them again, like, is this like legit or not? Can I do the movements like I wanted to do? And then you get a yes or a no from the admins, and then you're good to go. So thanks for everybody out there to listen in, and we see each other tomorrow, hopefully. So bye-bye. You're welcome. Bye-bye.